Okay, magandang hapon po. Magandang araw po lahat sa inyo, homeschoolers. Grabe, sobra po ang dami nating natutunan. Ang dami ko rin natutunan kay Andy. And this is our part 3 of our series on how to teach English without losing your mind. In our part 1, we were able to discuss reading. And in our part 2, we were able to discuss our spelling. Now, ang pag-uusapan po natin is grammar. How to teach grammar without losing your mind. Okay? Ay nako, I'm still guilty of that until now, and I still have to learn from Andy about this. So, Andy, how do you teach grammar to the small kids first?
Well, again, I think actually Filipinos, more than many around the world whose languages English is second language, understand English grammatics.
Yes.
So you've got that going in your favor already. For me personally, I consulted people who had homeschooled for years.
That's good.
Before I started for my oldest, and I was handed a curriculum. I was referred to go to a curriculum that actually just revolutionized how I taught grammar, because it can seem very intimidating. It is intimidating to teach the foundation of the English language, which will prepare your child for how they talk and speeches and then the writing that comes later. So that's kind of what I did.
Okay. So, can you share to us? Okay, disclaimer. It doesn't mean that we're gonna share this curriculum. You have to buy it. You have to research it. If there's someone that you know have this curriculum, you can borrow. Okay? Not Xerox, borrow. Okay? And then, it's just that we just want to share to you what really works for us. So, in this type of video, we just have to encourage you that, hey, find what's best for you. Okay?
That's
For
right.
Andy, this is what's best for her. Okay.
That's right.
What's that, Andy?
Okay, I was referred to go to a curriculum called Shirley English.
Okay.
Shurley.
Okay.
And I did. I got the level 2, and I started. It just broke down everything so incredibly. The wonderful thing about that specific curriculum, and again, it worked for me. It was perfect for me, and I have used it now for all my 5 children.
So can you give us a practical way that how Shirley do it to you?
Okay, they have
Sample.
Yeah, they have little jingles.
Jingles!
For all the parts of speech.
That's nice.
And different rules. So the first thing that you would teach is the sentence jingle. And the sentence jingle, we'd make up our own songs. I wouldn't necessarily play the CD. But it would go like this. A sentence is complete when 5 simple rules it meets. It has a subject, and a verb. It makes sense with every word. Add a capital letter and an N mark. Now your sentence has all its parts.
Aww.
And so the kids would just memorize that. So for a sentence, that has a subject, verb, complete sense, capital letter, N mark. And then that's the jingle about the sentence. And then there's jingles about nouns. This little noun floating around names a person, place, or thing. And then adverb, adjective, pronoun, preposition. There are jingles for all of those. And in the teacher text, everything is scripted. I did not have to come up with my own words.
Wow,
and how to teach it.
That's so convenient.
I just read it to my children, and they followed along. They have all the duplicate jingles in their little workbook.
Okay.
And then there's references, like how to write friendly letters. It even delves into the writing.
Okay.
But I used it primarily for grammar.
So, just to be clear, so this curriculum is more start with audio. Is that what you're saying? Audio first?
No.
Like singing?
Well,
no. So they also have worksheets.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you apply that with worksheets now that they can be able to identify the capitals and nouns? How do they identify in like one complete sentence? How do they know?
They're given sentences. So I write out sentences.
Okay.
There are sentences every lesson. For instance, the first sentence might be girls cried. So they have to identify the subject, noun, and the verb. So then they put SN above the subject noun, which would be girls. Cried. So you ask yourself, they have to train themselves to ask the questions. To find the subject of the sentence, they go, who or what is this sentence about?
Okay.
To find the verb, the script teaches me to teach them
Okay.
to ask what is being said about the girls. They cried because a verb shows action.
Oh, yes.
And then to find adjectives, it progresses a little bit by little bit. So then your sentence might go, the young girls cried loudly. So then they have to find out what the and young are, what parts of speech, and loudly. Typically adverbs end in ly, and they answer the question how, when, where. And you go to a verb to find an adverb. So you go cried, and then my kids would have to ask, how, when, where? Cried how? So it's an adverb.
Yeah.
Loudly. For adjectives, it's what kind, which one, how many.
Yes.
So they have to just think of those questions to find the adjective. It's formula based, but it also is I think it's applicable across the board.
Yeah, and it's really foundational because
It really
for you
is.
to be able to, sometimes you really have to be absorb it so that when you do the proper writing, it's gonna be more a breeze and it's easier for them to be able to really compose all those sentences.
Yes,
Isn't it?
part of the week then they're given in order, like they're given everything has symbols. So adj, subject, noun,
Okay.
verb, adverb. So then they have to craft their own sentence.
Andy,
Yes.
when you teach language and arts, do you teach it every day? How do you do it?
I do it every day.
Oh, you do it every day. Okay. So, as you can see, I'm not sure about you, but I also do it every day because I know that it's really foundational. You have to really have that kind of skill because I believe if you know how to read and spell and then do your grammar and writing, it's easy for you to read your math problem solving problems. Not only that, even your Araling Panlipunan, your Filipino. So it's really foundational. Okay. So on that end, do you usually teach English like do you have a certain time or do you have to do it do you do it spelling, reading, grammar, and writing the whole day or you have it in different days? There's some parents, they teach grammar only on this certain day and you get what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
As my kids got older, I had to get more structured with my time because obviously I'm not going to require my 5-year-old to spend an hour on language arts. That's a little too much.
It's true.
How
many minutes in a day?
At what age?
Oh, okay. So we're talking about now small kids.
Small kids, half hour.
Oh, okay. That's good.
So writing out their spelling list or whatever, that's maybe 10 minutes. Doing Shirley English depending on the day, like with the grammar, because there's also dictionary work where they
Okay.
have to learn how to look things up in a dictionary, alphabetical order, all of that. That is
So when they
included.
get older,
Yeah,
the time increases. How many
by junior
minutes
high,
or?
about an hour per subject.
Okay. Because there's a lot. All of the things that we talk about today is being applied. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. So in that end, did it change? Like you use Shirley all throughout, or do you have a certain age that you stop with Shirley and then you go to another curriculum? That shift. That's really important so that they can understand.
I think, and this is where all of you who are newer to homeschooling or just starting out,
Yeah.
you will gain confidence as you go, and you will find out more and more what works for you.
Okay.
I did switch a fair bit for even the first 4 years.
Oh, okay.
So surely English, it got a little bit repetitive if I did
Okay.
it 3 years in a row.
Okay.
So 2 years max for that grammar, and then I moved on to IEW, Fix It Grammar,
Yeah,
because
I
again,
love it. Fix it grammar.
they just have such good stuff.
Yeah, it's truly
Yeah.
because in Fix-It Grammar, if we may elaborate to you in a little, just a little, because when they're trying to make a theme, like for example, Narnia is that, correct me if I'm wrong because she's my teacher on that end. And then in that book, they use passages,
Yeah.
is that, they use paragraphs and they put it in one Fix-It Grammar and then you will correct it in a daily basis, like 4 times a week, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you try to correct and identify what kind of grammar that you have to put in each of those sentences. Like I think per day they just use 2 sentences in a day. Is that it?
That's for the higher levels.
That's the higher
Just
level.
one sentence
Oh,
for the beginning.
for the small kids, how many?
One sentence
Oh,
per day.
one sentence. So, it's really a breeze. Actually, that's also my prayer. Hopefully, we can have a Filipino curriculum like that. Because it's really a challenge for us to teach. I have to be honest. It's really for me, challenge po talaga to teach Filipino. And we still have to improve the curriculums that we need to do in our Filipino, especially teaching grammar in Filipino. And I think Fix-It Grammar is one of a good foundation for that as well. So, what age did you went to Fix-It Grammar? So, 4 years in
particularly
Shirley.
at age. I
So,
switched
it depends on the
over-
child.
Well, kind of. It's
Okay.
as I found things.
Okay.
I mean, you have to be honest to some extent. Our children are our guinea pigs.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
yes.
But as I gained confidence, I knew what I could implement as a family. What would work for all the kids
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah.
What wouldn't work for all the kids. So, like in part 2, we discussed spelling. The auditory spelling program, just one child. Because my next child loves the paper. He loves the paper and the pen, so he loves writing words out.
That's really rare for a boy,
He
Uy,
loves
grabe
it.
yun.
Yes,
Talaga.
yeah, I know.
I want to meet him.
Yeah. He's also
That's
a handful.
good news. So,
Yeah.
this is really cool. Thank you so much. Maybe, do you have any last say about, we talk about the small kids, how about the big kids teaching grammar?
I've kept on going with IEW where they get
Okay.
into clauses and
Okay.
everything like that. But by this time, if they know the basics,
Mhm.
even if you feel like you're spending so much time on the basics, it's the
Okay.
same even in sports, in everything. The stronger the basics are,
Yeah.
the easier it is to just fly from
Yes.
there. So don't be discouraged if you feel like it's taking far too long to learn all the
Yes.
basics.
Very well said. Hindi na ako mag-a-add doon. Okay, thank you so much. And that is for our grammar. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you.
Okay, always remember in homeschooling, relationship is more important than academics. Ako po si Novian Tan and I homeschool.